Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri, thank you very much for joining me today. We're in the middle of a very, very hot parliament session. We're in the middle of a very volatile parliament session. A lot is being said, a lot is being exchanged, a lot of accusations are being made, privilege motions are being moved up, and you're right there in the middle of the action. You're not a traditional politician. You're a technocrat, bureaucrat.
After 9 years of being a minister, you still don't want to allow me to be called a politician. I don't know what qualifies. Oh, well, yeah, I spent 39 years in the civil service, 4 years with an international think tank, and now here. So, but yeah, I'm enjoying this kind of.
That politicians are believed to have thick skin.
Well,
But you didn't start off being a politician, so I presume.
No, but listen
to
listen to me. No matter what you do, if you take it seriously, you try and do the best you can. The thickness of your skin is a direct reflection of the kind of people you deal with. Now, when I was a civil servant, I dealt with more benign people. But, you know, as a politician, I have to deal with the honorable leader of the opposition, and dealing with him and the likes of him, you end up developing a thick skin.
In what way?
In what ways? Because, you know, my view, Arnab, is that politics, the essence of politics is freedom of speech. The essence of freedom of speech is discourse. And the essence, core of that is participation. Therefore, if you have an issue, you raise it in parliament, stand there, let somebody else respond to it. But, you know, earlier I used to describe his brand of politics as shoot and scoot. Now it is spit and fly. Now, if he wants to raise an issue, he is never there. I mean, when he's not traveling abroad and even parliament is in session, sometimes he's traveling abroad when parliament is in session. Today, the issue is different. If he thinks a foreign government, has a chokehold on us because XYZ, he has to explain it. Now, going and doing a jiu-jitsu grip posture, so-and-so happened, mixing up apples and oranges, etc. I can tell you as a former trade negotiator, you know, I was a trade negotiator in the year of the Lord, 1981. If you talk about trade deals, this is one of the best phases in India's history. We've got 9 deals, one after the other. 27 members of the EU. We've got a trade deal with the United States. And he says India is sold out. Sold out. And sold out why? Farmers not protected, data not protected, this not happened, that not. Arey bhai, explain to karo. Padh to lo kya likha hai? Arnab, this is a framework agreement on an interim agreement. There is still stuff to be negotiated. And he's linking it to something in some file somewhere, something in some file somewhere. Somebody has a friend of yours has a case somewhere. Arey bhai, the Prime Minister's mind is not wired to take pressure. I worked with the Prime Minister 9 years. I've been a member of his team, but I've had the privilege of knowing him earlier. And if there is any point of time, post-May 2014, our economy has gone from fragile 10th position to 4th position, going up. And it's shooting up. And he decides to echo somebody's view, it's a dead economy. He says, I decides to say, this is not right. Farmers are against it. Arey bhai, if you are serious about your profession, read what is there. My colleagues who are responsible for trade negotiations said, farmers' interests fully reflected. See what's in the joint statement. Somebody else puts out some sheet and then retracts it today. So all I'm saying is, our parliamentary democracy has two kinds of people who dedicate themselves for the Samaj Seva and the transformation of the country, and those who are casual about their work and who provide elements
do I get an impression, right, that the government has sort of been very indulgent with Rahul Gandhi over the last 10 years?
I think in the past, I think we should let him have it now.
You think you've been too indulgent with Rahul Gandhi in the last 10 years, and now it's sort of fraying at the seams?
No, I think Rahul, Arnab, there is, when you talk about the honorable leader of opposition, I choose my words carefully, there are 2 points of views around, and these are not only in the party. One is that it's good to have a leader of opposition like him. Why? Because A, he provides entertainment value, is not able to pursue any issue seriously. He raises an issue and then he goes completely in another direction. So it's one issue today and then he'll raise it for about 6-8 hours, then they will go off the tangent and raise another issue. So there are some people who believe it. I personally believe that a government like ours, which has a mandate, which is massive, which is in for Mr. Modi, the Honorable Prime Minister's on his third term, we deserve a responsible opposition so that if there is some act of omission or commission we are committing, we should be able to correct it through constructive criticism. I believe in that. Does Mr. Gandhi, will he grow into that role? I don't think. I think it's late in the day. And the Congress party is imploding. There are people in the Congress party who say, "Kahan phas gaye?" If the guys, by the time he finishes the leadership of the party, they'll be too old to contest election. So there's turmoil there. But as far as I'm concerned, I can only wish him the best of luck.
You're in the line of fire as well.
I'm not in the line of fire. I'll tell you something.
You're in the line of fire over these Epstein files. Now, I think that, Mr. Puri, you and I should have an absolutely open and straight conversation on it. You have said yesterday that in 8 years, there is one substantive email. The opposition and others are saying there are 163 mentions as per the US government's Justice Department dedicated to Epstein, where there are references to you. That's not a small number. You've said you met Jeff Epstein only a few times, but the correspondence and exchanges are established much more than that. Now, my question to you is, in what capacity were you in touch with Epstein?
Let me correct you. In the 8 years I was in New York, starting May, June 2009 to 2017, there's a total of 4 meetings with the man. In 8 years, 4 meetings. And the number of references there are, maybe repetitions, there one after, if say, Arnab, Hardeep Puri, Navika Kumar, Maria, so-and-so. So if you take one, that's their counting. If I say on record that there are not more than 3 or 4 meetings, or to be charitable, I'll say 4. And the email, what am I discussing? There are 2 things about...
Why are you having email exchanges with a dubious man? You have said yesterday that in the 8 years, allow me, there is one email I've exchanged with him. And later you said there's only one substantive email. Then went on to say there are 1 or 2 others. This clouds the mind of the public. We must be clear. It sounds, the critics will say this is wishy-washy.
For heaven's sake, let me show you the email. I can recite it from it's a discussion with Reid Hoffman, who is the founder of LinkedIn. And I'm a private citizen. When I'm put in touch with him and I meet him in Los Angeles, I'm saying that India presents a great opportunity for digital innovation, for internet penetration, for Make in India, Digital India. Epstein is about wrongdoing. Epstein, there are things in the Epstein files which are about criminal wrongdoing, which the FBI is chasing to bring justice to the victims of those things. This has got nothing to do with that. This is about somebody who's a private citizen saying India under Modi presents great opportunities. So please, somebody of your standing, Arnab, read the email. I remember it offhand. I can even tell you, read the email in its entirety. There's nothing about...
How do you assume I have not read it?
Then I'm surprised you asking the question.
No, but may I ask you a follow-up?
Yeah, please.
If it is Reid Hoffman, you are Hardeep Puri, you are India's ambassador to the UN.
No, I'm not. I'm a private citizen at that point of time.
You're a private...
I ceased being India's ambassador in March 2013. This is an exchange of October 2014. 1 year and 6 months later.
You are saying you're pushing Digital India.
Yeah.
How did Epstein know that the Reid Hoffman meeting was scheduled?
I told you...
What was his role in it?
No, I explained that. And let me explain it to you because you have hopefully more following. But I thought others have become very clear on it. I go there as part of a delegation of the Independent Commission on Multilateralism. I'm the Secretary General. A former Prime Minister of Australia is the chair of that. In that meeting, this is so-and-so, this is so-and-so, this is so-and-so. He sends an email to POTUS, this is legal counsel. Legal counsel means a lawyer. POTUS is President of the United States. Saying, tell POTUS to come for the high-level climate summit. A lot of important people will be there. Gordon Brown, Prime Minister of UK, President of Mongolia, XYZ. And he says, Hardeep Puri of India. He doesn't know me. He's heard of me because he's met me 1 or 2 times. And he suggests that Reid Hoffman meet me. So he sets up a meeting through somebody, I don't know who it is. I meet Reid Hoffman and I copy him. And what am I telling Reid Hoffman? He's asked me, did you persuade Reid to go to India?
No, he says, and you've been very uncharitable, you just said I have not read the emails.
No, I'm glad you're reading it. Then let's read the thing.
Why did you say that I have not read the email?
Because anyone who's read it would know that I'm
but you know
pushing Digital India, I'm pushing Make in India.
I know
And
that.
before
I
it
know
is,
that.
before it is
I know that, but you know, I never do interviews without going through this stuff.
No, I know that. That's why I know you, because you and I went to the same college. You are known for due diligence. That's why you have such a standing.
We were part of the same debating society as well. But my question is, he writes to you on 4th October 2014.
Yeah.
He says, tell him you will organize his trip to India to meet with science and tech people and social networking gurus. My question is, under what authority does a Jeff Epstein tell you to organize a meeting for the LinkedIn chief?
Jeff Epstein in 2014 is somebody who's known to everybody. Somebody asked me, didn't you know who he was? No, I didn't know who he was. In 2008, he had some problem in Florida and he served house arrest. But in 2014...
That's my question. That's my question. In 2008, allow me.
Can I complete this? 2014, when I meet him, he's meeting the whole world. He's meeting heads of state, heads of government. He's meeting prime ministers and president. At that stage, when we found out that there is something wrong with the guy who's more controversial, in my first meeting, I had a sense of unease.
What sense of unease?
I'll tell you, when my boss then, Terry Rod Larson, turned around and said, I want to take you and the chairman of the thing and the members of the board of highly respectable people, to a evening event somewhere. I said, where? You know, he jokingly said, I won't tell you because you'll Google the place and you might not come. So I said, and how will I reach a place if you don't tell me where it is? So he said, Anna, the driver will bring you there. Then I asked Anna, what is the address you're taking us? I don't think she also knew. I Googled the address and I told my other colleague, should we go? They said, well, you're going as part of a group. And he refers to that. There are a lot of people in that evening. I don't know if it's the same event, but my first meeting was, there is Woody Allen there. There is a prime minister of some ex-prime minister there. There are, Kevin Rudd, his name is mentioned, Prime Minister of Australia. I'm there. After a little while, you sit there, have that, and you come away. Now, in 8 years, you've met this guy 4 times. Yes, he says, meet somebody called Reid Hoffman. Reid Hoffman is a very respectable man. He is the founder of LinkedIn.
Yes.
And I send him a detailed mail saying, please go and invest in or look at India. What are the arguments I use?
No, I know the arguments you are using.
Then I don't
know
need
the
to.
arguments you are using. Mr. Puri, this constant assumption by you that I have come to meet you without reading the emails is absolutely wrong. Because I've seen the arguments, but I still have a follow-up question. Am I allowed to ask the follow-up
You're allowed to ask any question.
Yes.
If after reading the email, you still come back to who Epstein was, I know who Epstein was. I discovered lately and I walked away from that.
I'm not questioning your intent, because in that 13th November 2014 email you're writing to Jeff Epstein, CC Reid Hoffman, and you're saying, I briefed you on the discussion with Reid in Silicon Valley, SoftBank investing 10 billion in the Indian e-commerce space, Prime Minister Modi's focus to revive the Indian economy, Make in India, India's 200 million internet users, digital infrastructure rollout plans. So you're not pushing any personal agenda. You're pushing
personal agenda.
You're pitching Make in India. Now, my question to you is only this, and this question you must answer, that why Jeff Epstein? Because.
It's a very simple thing.
Because you are saying that everybody in New York knew him. He was a very prominent member
in
of
2014, they didn't have the kind of doubts. But as the time goes on, a lot of us left the place.
No, but in 2008, he had pleaded guilty to state charges of solicitation of prostitution and solicitation of prostitution with a minor under the age of 18 and was sentenced to 18 months in minimum security facility. So he was drenched
in house arrest. He was on house arrest.
He was drenched in muck.
By the way, yeah, by the way, in 2008, what happened in Florida, if it had been known in New York in 2008 or 9, some of the guys wouldn't have been talking to him. This is my view.
Some of the guys?
People who was meeting...
So you're saying he was very much back and he was active?
No, as far as I'm concerned, when I got to know really who he was or what the other...
Were you using him as a bridge to Silicon Valley figures to push the India story?
Not at all. When I retired in 2013, I had plans of, doing something different in life. And in one of those moments, I met Reid Hoffman. But by the way, I was also looking at the solar system, etc. But that's not part of this. It just so happened that this guy was part of the introduction. So that's why I'm sending a message to Reid Hoffman to him. But once we found out who he was, we switched off.
When did you know that?
Well, immediately thereafter. I mean, when, details, there's a rumor mill also which goes around. Is it the same guy? You check up who he is. As I said, first meeting also, one was ambushed. I checked up. Later on, by the way, the person who introduced me Terry Rod Larson was sacked by the IPI. He was sacked by the IPI. And by the way, there was an exchange between Epstein and Terry Rod Larson. You know, Epstein refers to me in 2015 and he says two-faced. Arnab, this is important. Two-faced, question mark. And Terry Rod Larson, who was finally sacked from the IPI, says, if you meet an Indian and a snake, kill the Indian first. And therefore, my standing with both these guys, and that's why, I mean, if I were a beneficiary of that, I was not getting anything out of it. I was part of the independent commission, which was a project of the IPI to see if the UN was...
So Terrier Lord Larson, what was he fuming about India on December 25th, 2015, within an email thread involving Jeff Epstein, with whom you had scheduled meetings and coffee conversation? Terrier Lord Larson says, have you heard the saying, when you meet an Indian and a snake, kill the Indian first?
Yeah.
This remark appears in an email chain that includes correspondence about you earlier in 2015 regarding meeting and coffee conversation. What was the immediate context of the remark? What discussion, disagreement, or subject involving India as an Indian individual?
Well, I'll tell you something. The fact that I was referred to as two-faced by a man like Epstein, which clearly I found out later when these emails came, it was a great sense of reassurance to me.
Why?
That because I had a dislike for the guy.
I had a dislike?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, he is a international figure. First time I met him, I went part of a delegation. Second time, whatever it is, he is boasting that he knows me. But after a while, when you find out that the guy was involved in something in the past, you know, it's very difficult to ask, 2008 this happened. Yeah, I went in 2009. I had nothing to do in 2008 there. In 2009, I had no clue to who Epstein was till 2013. But look, I don't need to defend myself on this. Because even the strongest allegation is not saying that this is part of some sex or other operation. Why were you in touch with him? Yeah, Arnab, I'm 73 years old. You know, I have been in touch with terrorists. I have been in touch with all kinds of people. That's all professional, this thing. As a young first secretary, I was sent to Jaffna.
Which terrorist? Which terrorist?
Velupale Prabhakaran. I was the one sent to bring him to India. Does that make me a terrorist? I was the one who went and had secret contacts with Prabhakaran and Jaffna. Look, this is part of one's professional thing. You have interviewed a lot of interesting people in the world. Nobody, I think, dares ask you the question, why did you interview that guy? He has a shady reputation. My God, the more the shadier the reputation, the more fun an interview can be. But today, my context here is not what that guy is associated with me. My context is I'm pushing the India story, for heaven's sake. And I'm smelling of roses on that.
Are you feeling vulnerable?
Not at all. I'm enjoying myself.
You see the opposition is going to go after you. I get a feeling from the kind of messages and exchanges. They're having a good time. They're going to take every email of yours, put tweets out on it. How are you going to fight this? Because can I ask you very frankly? Yesterday, Rahul Gandhi said there is this businessman, Anil Ambani. Why is he not in jail? I would like to ask Hardeep Puri.
You know, ask Hardeep Puri, but Hardeep Puri, not about Anil Ambani.
I know who introduced him, and Hardeep Puri knows who introduced him. Who introduced him?
Terry Rod Larson, who was the president of the IPI. I was in a project of the IPI.
So what is?
No, let me tell.
Are you in the line? I mean, do you see the opposition would want a scalp?
Oh, come on. I am smelling of roses and the opposition knows it.
How are you going to fight this, Hardeep Puri?
There is nothing to fight here. If I am saying I am peddling India, I wear that as a badge of honor. And by the way, the question, Rahul Gandhi said, who introduced him? Then that shrieking Jain, Supriya Srinath and Pawan Khera asked who introduced. I said, Terry Rod Larson introduced. That is all. That is all there is. And I have never denied that I met somebody. I provided you the context. Am I vulnerable? No, I've never felt better.
Mahua Maitra publicly posted an email about how Jeff Epstein asked for a visa for his assistant to attend a wedding in India, and you wrote to Pramod, I think Ambassador retired Pramod Brajaj, confirming assistance and outlining the formal application route. Now, can you clarify what happened? Now, Mahua Maitra says you called her and asked her to delete the tweet containing this message, and that you told her that if people come after me now, he won't be able to help it, unquote. Did you make such a call?
let me first of all separate the two things. One is the visa request.
Yes.
A visa request comes to somebody who has served as India's ambassador.
Yes.
The Indian ambassador replies, put them in touch with, I have nothing to do with visa, I'm a retired ambassador. And that guy says, apply online. What can be more straightforward than that? You are told that somebody says, can you help me with a visa? He says, this is the procedure online, you apply and you get the visa or you'll be rejected. That's all, that's nothing. Insofar as Mahua Moitra is concerned, I've had the dubious distinction of knowing her for a long time. I don't want to use words which are unparliamentary. She's a serving member. She is not just economical with the truth. She's also inventive. All I asked her was, you use the word pimp. Pimp has sexual connotation. That I was pimping for the Prime Minister, okay? I asked her, have you read the email?
Used that word?
She used that word in a tweet. That's why I said. And Arnab, I called her just to ask her, since I knew her well, have you read the tweet? Have you read the email? Have you read it? And she was going on and on. Sir. I said, don't sir me, I have a name. If you've read it, all I'm saying is, I am disappointed. That was my exchange with her. About people coming after her or coming after me, listen, there is something very obvious. Mahua Moitra is in the line of fire on 101 things. Yesterday, somebody in the BJP made some tweet on her. She appeared before the ethics committee because, all MPs have a handle, which they give for asking parliament questions. And she said nobody in our staff speaks English. So she gave the handle to somebody else who was asking questions. And that guy was asking questions which are on the business interests of that man. So please, I don't want to get into it. She's got enough to handle on her own. As far as I'm concerned, things like Mahua Moitra calling me XYZ, I also wear as a badge of honor because my life is an open book, 39 years in the Foreign Service. When I went to New York, we won the Security Council election with a record, 183 out of 186 seats, okay, votes we got. My rest of it is also there, whether I was in the X ministry, Y ministry, I did 7 years of housing and urban affairs, I've done civil aviation. My record is an open book. And as far as Mahua Moitra is concerned, he will be dealt with by the party. She has abusive 6 tweets every day. You are clearly now, whether it is because of your ability, your position or your importance in the Modi government, you are in the middle of what you call innuendo politics or smear campaign and whatever I see, targeting is happening. Why don't you take some legal action? You see, I am curious about this. Why don't you take some legal action against your political opponents in what they are saying? Isn't it advisable for you to do that? First question. Second, simply, does the government, does the Prime Minister have your back? You have the full support of the Prime Minister and the government in this because you're being targeted, Mr. Puri, and you're not a private citizen anymore. You are a very important union. What am I targeted for? For advocating India's cause?
Whatever you're being targeted for.
No. Let's be very clear. I'm not a private citizen. I don't do anything on my own.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. So if I do something, I do it with full responsibility. Secondly, what about legal this thing? When I was in the service, I was known as the most litigious so-and-so. I won't use that word because it was a polite term. I won a defamation case against somebody in the UK. That person also ended up putting he's misogynist, he doesn't like women. So somebody reminded her, you ended up issuing an apology. You ended up posting the apology. You ended up paying £20,000 in cost to his lawyers. Immediately.
Where is the litigation, Hardeep Puri now? Why is he taking it on the chin?
You see what
Why is he not fighting back legally?
Hold on. You saw what happened to Mr. Saket Gokhale? 50 lakhs in damages he has to pay, unconditional apology. Although it's against my wife, but it was aimed at me. He told everybody...
Why don't you go litigations against Rahul Gandhi and Mahua Moitra?
What about Rahul Gandhi? What did he say in Parliament? All he said was, who introduced Hardeep Puri? Listen to me.
But if they cross the line beyond...
No, I'm waiting. There's an expression in the English language I use somewhere. Come into my parlor, said the वो क्या होता है? What is, tell me.
Said the spider to the fly.
To the spider, to the fly. So come, we'll see. I mean, all.
What do you mean, come, we'll see?
Come, let's have some fun.
What fun?
No, let them come up once over, calling me a pimp, etc. Whether I want to take legal action or I want to tell her what that word means in the context of others' activities, I'm not even naming her. Let's have some fun.
You're willing to hit back, you're saying.
Okay.
Are you held back by your position?
Not at all. Not at all. I feel supremely free. And I'll tell you something. I never do anything if I'm not sure about myself. And facing the most fierce interlocutor on television on a day like this, a lot of people said, don't give interview, don't give interview. I said, why not? I said, they'll bring up the Epstein file. I said, I want more and more Epstein files to be aired. I want it to be in the public domain. When they read as R-E-I-D or read R-E-A-D, when they read what I wrote to read, on which this so-and-so is copied, they'll say, in the midst of all that storm, there is one guy standing up for India. I was talking about digital India, Make in India, at least 8 months before it was launched. I am having this discussion in 2014. Most of these missions, digital India and all, are launched in 2015.
You're saying you're not going to be blackmailed on this issue?
Blackmail, kya karega yaar? Come, as I said.
Is Rahul Gandhi blackmailing? Has he spoken to you personally? Have you had a off-record, any discussion in the corridors of Parliament or anything?
Can you tell me about?
Tell me about
Get to know Rahul Gandhi. He walked up to me on 26th November on Samvidhan Divas.
Okay.
He came up to me and winked.
Winked?
One, I don't know, left eye, right eye, I'm just trying to stay where he was. Then when he winked a second time, I smiled, I asked him, name is come in interesting places.
Name is?
Your name is in interesting places.
Rahul Gandhi said that to you?
So I said, would you like to know what the context is? I said, you want me to send you a note? He said, So I sent him a note. Exactly what I said in the press conference.
You sent him a note?
I sent exactly what I said in the press conference. So today, I was sitting in Parliament when in the Rajya Sabha, I had a dear friend who's also a colleague who said, Ki aapne acha, you said something Hindi which I can't repeat here. You had great fun yesterday in the press conference. Then I told him, I said, I'd even actually sent him a note. I could have spared him because I wanted to spare him making a ass of himself. He said, but do you know something? And this is a guy who had been in the Congress party. He said, do you know something? I said, no. He said, never reads. So what happens is, if he's going into something, somebody tells him, you remember, did you see that interview on why a motorcycle weighs 150 kilograms and why a...
Speech, unfortunately. It was a speech, unfortunately.
Well, it's not a statement.
About a motorcycle.
A motorcycle and car weight. I mean, if somebody... I've always maintained...
But I'm finding it very interesting that on the 25th or 26th of November, on Samvidhan Divas, he winks at you and says your name is in interesting places. And then he talks about this in February in the budget session.
Because he hasn't read the note.
No, but doesn't it mean this is some form of a political blackmail that he did on you?
No blackmail. What did he blackmail me for, yaar? I mean, listen, my life is an open chapter. I love guys who come at me. I've told you, I had a reputation of being litigious. Whether it's Saket, Gokhale, my wife, because he said, you have some property somewhere. I said, yeah, here it is. Second issue, look, even when I was a very young joint secretary, somebody said that, there had been India was having secret nuclear talks and the thing leaked out. And somebody tried to suggest that I was the source of the leak, and somebody called me something. I got a apology caption in a front page in a newspaper. Now, let me tell you, yes, when the time comes, first of all, blackmail is a very tough word. Blackmail means if you have got something on me, as I said, what here is in the open. Where's the blackmail? There may be scope the other way around. You understand what I'm saying? In political life, you put politics of innuendo works up to a point. Politics of coercion works up to a point. But we are in a democracy.
But you said you began by saying, and I'll take 5 more minutes, you began by saying that I think we have been too indulgent.
With whom?
With Rahul Gandhi so far. I think he should get it back. What did you mean by that?
I meant that there are 2 points of view. One is that if you've got somebody who in the process of his work displays elements of buffoonery, then you should take the entertainment value and the fact that you don't have a more serious guy. I don't know about that. I personally used to take Mr. Rahul Gandhi quite seriously. I said, while he's a late bloomer, he started late, his own education pattern, etc. But he's got, mother, father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and he means well, I used to think. But after he calls India a dead economy, and when it's growing at 8.2% in that quarter, when he tears up an ordinance in 2013, now when all these incidents come together in my mind, I genuinely believe that he needs help. Now that help can be provided either by my side or it can be provided by his party.
3 more questions. I asked you whether the Prime Minister is backing you fully. Have you spoken to the Prime Minister?
Well, to the extent I can say, I am fully backed, yes.
You're fully backed?
Fully backed.
That makes you feel stronger?
No, it's wrong. There's nothing. For peddling India's case on digital innovation dunia, I need somebody's permission. And that time I was a private citizen. What is the issue? What is the issue? I was saying...
Anything is an issue these days. I mean, Naravne is an issue. Naravne's unpublished book is an issue. Shoot and Scoot is an issue. Anything is an issue.
He also had, by the way, a copy of the Constitution around with cellophane covers. So I have a lot of friends in the Congress who come and gossip with me. So I told them, give me a copy. So I took the cellophane cover off. And it was an edition, I think 6th or 7th. The preface was a round criticism of the, of the curtailment of civil liberties in June 75, the emergency. And that's the copy he's waving around. So here is a guy who really needs help. So I think I wish him the best of luck. I really have to now leave because...
I take one more question.
Well, final question.
One more question. Because I'm not going to answer to this. This is completely off the issue.
Yeah.
But you're the petroleum minister. So have we really decided not to take a drop of Russian oil?
Well, look, let me first tell you.
Yeah.
Purchases of oil is a complicated business, okay?
You're going to avoid my question.
No, I'm not going to avoid you. I want you to do a separate interview with me whenever you like.
But
look.
Because if I don't ask you this question, all the viewers watch, everyone watching, they're going to say you met Hardeep Puri and didn't ask the question.
Our companies buy from a variety of sources. They used to buy from 27 countries. Now they buy from 42 countries. They float tenders at the point of importation. Say we need, by the way, Arnab, there are 350 grades of crude. 350 grades of crude. And you will so float a tender at, say, Western this thing, that I want heavy crude.
Trump has given an executive order saying we are going to watch how much Russian oil is being
I think we'll need to have a separate one on this.
But just say, are we buying Russian oil or not? Please promised not to.
No, please listen to what the Foreign Secretary has said to the Standing Committee. And on this issue, you and I must have a separate one so that you can regale your readers with, or your viewers, or you're not a viewers. So let's have a separate discussion on that. Meanwhile, look at what's in the joint statement. And all I say, we are committed to the trilemma. We are committed to availability, affordability, and sustainability.
In the executive order on 6th of February, a day before specifics deal is released, is this interim deal incumbent on India pulling back purchases of Russian oil or Russian gas? I mean, what is
Did you know in 2002, 2022, when the Russia-Ukraine war started, we were buying 0.2%. It went up, now it's come down. So let's have this discussion separately. Okay. We are going to be in a situation...
You're committed to speaking to me on this?
Of course I shall give you. I shall give you an extended interview when we have time for that. Just now you're distracted. No, I don't have time.
I'm not distracted.
You're distracted with Rahul Gandhi, with Reid Hoffman, and so on. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Hardeep Puri ji. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.